Hello, this is Lauren Delsack, and welcome back to the talks on the Draconic chart. In this talk, we're going to take a look at the Draconic Midheaven. The Midheaven in the natal horoscope is a very important point of consciousness. It signifies a point of awareness of who we are in the world. It represents the Midheaven, what we stand for, our personal claim to fame, our social status, our reputation, our professional orientation. And as well, of course, it represents one of the parents. The Draconic Midheaven encompasses these very same principles, but perhaps as a point of superconscious awareness of our soul's identity and of the mission it seeks, or our divine quest. Looking back at the horoscope of Richard Pryor, which I presented earlier in the Sun-Moon blend, we have his natal midheaven in the sign of Sagittarius and the Draconic midheaven in the sign of Gemini. If we incorporate his need to express his opinions and disseminate through his profession with the natal midheaven in Sagittarius, we gain deeper understanding of his soul's mission, or his higher self's mission, and the platform it seeks for communication and managing information with the Draconic midheaven in Gemini. We can also bring in the ruler of the Draconic midheaven, which in this case is Mercury, Draconic Mercury in the sign of Taurus, and we can come up with some interesting open-ended questions that we could ask clients in consultation. If Richard Pryor were still alive today and we had a chance to talk with him, we could form a question such as this. Mr. Pryor, knowing about the difficulties that you've experienced in your early home life, could you please tell me how your ability to diversify, to manage information and communicate so effectively, and express your opinions through humor, how has that enabled you to build and preserve security and status in your life through your profession? Tell me what that means to you, please, and how it has given you a sense of purpose or fulfillment in your life. So what I'm trying to show you is for you to be able to take a few of the variables within the Draconic chart, assimilate that with the natal horoscope, and we're just looking right now at the sun, the moon, and the ascendant in both horoscopes, and come up with some creative questions to ask. And you'll be surprised at what that elicits in terms of discussion within consultation with your clients. Let's revisit now the horoscope of Madonna. Madonna has the sign of Gemini on her natal midheaven, and anyone familiar with her music and her style of performing knows how she diversifies and how she expresses who she is through the arts and her music, such as her very popular song, Express Yourself. But what additional information or knowledge can we gain from her Draconic midheaven in the sign of Scorpio? Madonna exudes an overtly sexual persona through her style of dress, the way she moves, her first #1 hit in the United States, Like a Virgin, her album Erotica, her graphic depiction of sex in her creative yet risque and controversial book entitled Sex. We know of her intrigue with mystery through her study of the Kabbalah. And all of this captures the strong Scorpio overtones of her soul's identity and the mission it seeks to manifest in this current lifetime. In Madonna's Draconic chart, Pluto in the sign of Aquarius rules the Draconic Scorpio midheaven, and Madonna wanted to revolutionize attitudes toward sex, homosexuality, and lesbianism in an original and perhaps rebellious way through her book Sex. She is an eccentric avant-garde pioneer who has transformed society's perspectives using the arts as her medium. Shirley MacLaine has her natal midheaven in the last degree of Gemini, and we certainly know that she wrote a groundbreaking book called Out on a Limb, which opened the door to New Age revelation and exploration. And at the time of its publication, it brought New Age concerns under the spotlight for everybody. But when we look at her Draconic Midheaven, it's in the sign of Leo. And note that in her natal horoscope, there are no planets or points in the sign of Leo. And so here we bring in through the Draconic Midheaven in Leo the whole area of theater, dance, acting. So that's quite depictive of the artistic side of Shirley MacLaine. And not only that, but in her Draconic horoscope, we have the Draconic moon in Libra, representative of the arts. We get a echo of the same theme of the Midheaven in Gemini through the Draconic sun in Gemini. And really overall, just looking at her Draconic horoscope, it almost seems to scream more of Shirley MacLaine than her natal, because we have a Midheaven in the performing arts, we have the Draconic moon in the area of aesthetic and arts, and we have the Draconic sun in the communicative sign of Gemini, which falls into the 8th house, same as with the natal sun. But isn't that interesting, because that's the whole area of the horoscope that has to do with alternative healing subjects, and there it is in the sign of Gemini, and she wrote groundbreaking books in that area. So study the horoscopes of your friends, family members, and clients, and incorporate in the Draconic Midheaven and see if that makes sense to you. Can you perhaps see more of their professional orientation through their Draconic Midheaven? Do you see a blend between the Draconic Midheaven and the natal Midheaven? And start to put together and practice with making creative statements and open-ended questions that you can ask your clients. You'll be amazed at what will open up in terms of discussion. In the next talk, we'll start integrating the natal horoscope with the Draconic horoscope. Thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it.